welcome Peter. I met Peter in 2013 at a workshop, Human Awareness Institute workshop, and did most of my workshops with him. He was one of the facilitators. And what I love and appreciate about you, Peter, is your heartfelt presence. You have this amazing intuitive presence and loving that supported me do a lot of deep healing in the workshops. So Peter has a master's degree in marriage, family, and child counseling from the University of Santa Clara. He has been passionately involved with Eastern spirituality. He was a facilitator for the Human Awareness Institute, leading some 600 love, intimacy, and sexuality weekend workshops all around the world for over 30 years before retiring 3 years ago. He still has private practice in spiritual counseling in Marin County and on Zoom. He has written 3 books that have deeply affected many people: Living Life in Love, Seeds of Light, and 11 Enlightening Days with Sri Muji. He has, with his wife and best friend Donna, for over 40 years, and they have a 26-year-old son, Avi. Peter, you're on.
Thanks. So I just have to say, it's lovely to be in this circle with you. I'm feeling really filled by you, and I can see why you're willing to get up this early in the morning to do this, and there's just such a beautiful energy that you all are co-creating with one another. And so thank you for launching me into my day and then launching me into this moment with you. And so I had retired from leading workshops that were much more about love, intimacy, and sexuality, and the kind of the nuts and bolts of relationships for many, many years. And then it felt time to retire from that. And as I was kind of in the next phase of life and letting lots of identities go and lots of who Peter used to be go and just see who he was now, there was just something around the aging process and what's happening for me personally in the circle of people that I'm with. And I'm 76 years old and very vital in a lot of ways and in a lot of pain in the body in a lot of ways. So there's been a lovely learning around all of that and what it is to not wait to be happy until I get rid of the pain in my body, and just different ways I've played with it. And today I'm going to invite you to look at the aging process, and we'll do a little meditation in a moment. And I think we'll start with that just to get you kind of in the spirit of what I'll talk about next. And then apparently you people here haven't gone into breakout rooms very often, and it's just an opportunity to be with one other person and have more intimate kind of sharing, and then we'll come back together as a large group and share in the large group. But it gives everyone a chance to talk and to get closer to one person kind of randomly here today in order to just see what that's like. So how many people have never been in a breakout room on a Zoom call? It's not been your experience? Okay. Great, most of you have, and some of you are going to get a new experience around all of that. And I'll speak a little more specifically about that as we go into that. Okay, so if you would take a breath and close your eyes. And the other thing I've started on Tuesday evenings is something I call a vulnerability meditation. And I actually hesitate to use the word meditation because it has so many different pictures and ideas and meanings to people. So a lot of times I just talk about it as an intimate time with yourself. So in the spirit of that, just take a moment. The first thing always when I close my eyes anyway, is to simply slow down. Let the thoughts slow down. Get current with yourself. A lot has happened here in the last hour, so just do a little emotional check-in with yourself. How are you doing with the different things that have gone on here so far? there any ways your heart has been touched? Or not, just notice. And then in the spirit of slowing down, just allow your attention to come right down to your heart chakra, center of your chest. Oftentimes they're up in our head thinking, come on down, come on down. Let your heart get soft. See if you can find a sensation of falling back in, of coming home to yourself in your heart. It's a sense of reversing the current. Instead of your energy going up and out into the world, reverse the current. Fall back in. Come on home. And notice what happens when you hear this word, aging. Aging. There's no right or wrong to the response. Just notice what comes forward when you hear the word aging. Aging. No hurry. Aging. And notice there are two sides of that coin. Aging can present challenges. It can present temptations to contract, to get small, to withdraw. And on the other side of the coin, there's an opportunity to gain wisdom as we age and to gain perspective. And there's no way a 30 or 40-year-old can have the same perspective as a 60 or 70-year-old. Just notice the changing perspective and hopefully what you've gained by your different experiences through life and the different roadblocks that you've gone through and whatever's gone on in that process of getting older. And then at your own speed, take a nice breath and open your eyes. Just notice when you open your eyes, the temptation might be to come out, stay home, stay home. Let the screen come to you. Don't chase after it. Just let it come to you. And take a moment to look around the screen. Slow down. Just be present with the different people, some of whom you may well know, some people you may not. Just maybe have history with some people and brand newness with other people. And if you're willing to come on video, that'd be great. And if you don't want to, that's fine. Just a way to connect in. Notice what it is to simply be present. No place to go, nothing to do, just here, just here.
Mhm.
So I want to speak for a couple minutes about kind of how this class came about in terms of a friend and I were talking, and I just wanted to do something. I felt moved to do something, and our joke with each other is we don't want a bunch of old people sitting around complaining about their age, and so there is a way to be congruent with different pains that you might have or different challenges that you might have without being a victim about it. Just be congruent with the emotions that might be there, the tenderness that might be there, without a complaining energy is what we attempted to get through. I've done this class. It's a 6-week class. I've done it once, and I learned a lot. And it was a great group of people. We had about 24 of us, I think, and it was just very bonding for us. And I learned a lot while I taught it too, and was very upfront talking that process we were all going through as we were doing it. And I just want to speak a little bit of my example of what I'm inviting you to share when you go into the breakout room with a partner. And the first share is going to be about some of the challenges that you've had around aging and what's been difficult for you. And uh, for me personally, what's been very surprising is how that's happened a little earlier. Like I can't remember simplest things like CVS. The other day I couldn't remember the name CVS, and just different kind of we call them affectionately brain farts. Just things that we just can't remember in the moment. And if I chase after them, they go away, and if I let them go, sometimes they come back. But there's also just a way to just be compassionate with myself rather than thinking there's something wrong with me, to have that be a natural part of the aging process, and to recognize it's not so important to remember things like CBS, even though we think it is. And that's been there. And then I've also had quite a bit of pain in my back. I've had fusion surgery in my back, and for about 5 years, I've been in various stages of attempting to get my back better. And I'll never forget when I realized that I kept on waiting to be happy until I got rid of the pain in my back. And I realized I might go to my grave with that pain in my back. So why wait to be happy? And so there's been a process around how it is uh, to allow a joy to come through me with pain in my body. And it's quite an experience. It's quite a meditation to dance with that. And that's without denying that, denying the pain, and at times wailing with the suffering. And the other piece that's been there for me is that I had never really suffered in a certain way. I mean, I was drafted during the Vietnam War, and I went through a hunger strike and all kinds of trauma to kind of fight the system around all of that. And that certainly was a traumatic experience, but I wasn't a very conscious being in that stage of my life. So I don't think I really um, understood the suffering in the way that I've understood it now. And as I've been just wailing about that, Diana, you were kind of talking about this in terms of um, what it is to find the gifts of the suffering. And I kind of have the idea that I'm in the human body to have every experience possible there is to have in the human body, all the different feelings. And doesn't mean I necessarily act out my anger feelings, but to not deny them and to allow them to be there. And it's kind of like all these little sub personalities or sub parts that come forward to be seen and to be loved. And when I was in the humbleness of the suffering, it just brought me to my knees in such a beautiful way. Um, it kind of wiped out a kind of spiritual arrogance that I've had, because I've been in the, in the gurus and lived in ashrams and blah blah blah, and such a spiritual person. In ways that is true, but in other ways, I'm just like everyone else on the planet. And to get rid of whatever some kind of spiritual hierarchy I lived in, and thinking that, you know, I knew it because I was, lived with Muktananda, and lived with, Osho and whoever, and just to see what it is to just be so beautifully brought to my knees by it all. And I'm a much better husband than I was when I was healthy and alive and out there leading workshops and stuff. There's a way that the humbleness has allowed me to really see the damage that I've done to my wife in the past by um, kind of male privilege, I guess you might call it, and her kind of caving into that. And she, believe me, she's a strong woman, but there were ways that neither of us really knew the extent that that was there until I got this humbling from this whole experience. And there's just such a much more tender way, and Donna's speaking up much more quickly when she feels I'm off in any way, and I'm much more available to hear it. And um, so as far as we're concerned, we're much more in love than we ever have been, and in a different way than when we were young and passionate and all of that. And the other thing that aging has brought me is a loss of my sexual desire. And I mean, that was a huge part of my life. There's a reason I lived with Osho, the sex guru, and the freedom that was involved in all of that, and led workshops on love, intimacy, and sexuality, which were very alive in lots of ways. And so that's been a key part of my relationship with my wife and the world, and teaching that, and then to just kind of watch it organically just lose interest. I've always been kind of proud of the sex life I've had with myself, and I've nurtured and fostered my own relationship with myself, and said to my wife, "I'm having a date with myself tonight," and so I go off and have my own date, and been really in a lovely place in relationship to that. And then to just watch the interest in that disappear. And it's kind of like I had this idea I was going to have an orgasm, whether it was mental or in actuality, like orgasm to everything possible that human beings can orgasm to. So then I've finished sex in a certain way. And I don't know if I've done that, but I just know that I'm not driven the way I was. And whether that's just organic or whatever it is, it certainly has changed my orientation toward everything on the planet. I don't go down the street, noticing sexual things like I used to. And there's just a whole different way of moving through the world. And there's a lot of freedom in it, which I didn't realize there was. I didn't realize how much sexuality just kind of was the driving force in me. And really, the only two things I've ever been interested in on this planet is enlightenment and sex. And my joke is I've flunked enlightenment now. I've totally flunked it, no problem. I cried about it, I've wailed about it, I've felt my failure in it, and kind of going, okay, so it ain't gonna happen this lifetime. And then what I'm talking about now is kind of the organic waning of my sexuality. So it's really fun. Monday's always been my wife and I, our date day, and because we led workshops on weekends. And so we still have our Monday date day, but before it was all centered around sex. And now it's centered whether Peter can take a walk in the woods today or he's got too much pain and can't do that. That's and we make sure we have our cuddling time. And once in a while it turns into something more sexual, but it's become a much more quiet kind of sex. And there was all kinds of fervor and excitement in it before, and it's just a much different flavor of it in terms of heart connection and quietness and slowing down and looking at each other's eyes. And it's as important to hold on and next to my heart as it is to have our genitals involved. And it's just been a whole evolution around all of that. So it's quite interesting to grieve those parts that are dying, not to pass up the fact that there's something gone, something disappearing, and not to deny that, but also to celebrate it at the same time, rather than, wailing about something, then hoping something which should be there that's not there, but just to be congruent with, my joke is I've gone from being somebody in this big workshop leader into being nobody. And nobody is a great place to live. In the spirit of that, I've recently started driving for Lyft because I've got a lot of time on my hands, and and it's so beautiful to just be of service to people and to just, you know, there's something that happens in my car that's very special for the people that are available to it. And to just know there's these little ways that I can now give love to the world that isn't showboaty and doesn't have me as the center of attention, but I definitely um, I'm just so rewarded by the simplicity of having someone come in my car, have some kind of interaction that changes both our days, and then they get out and go on their way. And just a whole nother kind of healing that's involved. So that's enough about me. And anybody have any questions or comments before I send you into a breakout room? And I'll be more specific about what you're going to share there, and we'll go from there. But anybody have anything that they need to say at this point?
I do, Peter. I'm
Sure.
I'm 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 75, just like you, and I really appreciate everything you said. Yeah, just that simple.
Thanks,
That
Jonathan.
direct.
I felt you with me. It was really sweet. Thanks. Anybody else, anything? Okay, well, I keep looking at these numbers down below as far as, uh, okay, so 37. So what we're headed into now is the breakout room, and let me take a moment to create those. So there's 37. Let's see, 6.
Peter, I have to leave, so
Oh, okay,
um,
okay.
yeah,
Okay, you okay to go now before the breakout rooms happen?
yeah, exactly. When the breakout room happens, I'll leave.
Okay, if you could go now, because then that'll keep you out of the breakout room if that works for you.
Gotcha.
'Cause- okay,
Gotcha. One
okay,
love, everybody.
okay. Let's
Thank
say
you.
bye to Jonathan. Let's take a moment.
Hi, Jonathan.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Jonathan.
Bye bye. Okay, so then Javier, that means you will be in a breakout room, and then the two couples, you're going to end up in the same breakout room. Mary Grace, is your partner still here?
No, he's actually
Oh,
left.
okay,
Just me.
that changed. Okay. Now
And
we're
Jenny
two.
has a question.
Okay, Jenny, where are you?
I don't know if I am part of the group because I don't know if so I want to be counted to be with somebody in the one-to-one.
Okay, yes, you
Yeah.
are part of it. Okay,
Thank you.
okay. So then Paul and
And-
Bonnie, you're
and-
going to be, yeah, someone else, something?
Yes,
Yeah,
also, yeah, Karen and I are in the same room, so
okay,
take that into account.
okay. But you could be with different partners, right, Bill?
Literally, we're in the same room in my house.
Okay, so then what I'll do, oh
But
boy,
I
this
can get
is,
up and move, so it's all right. Don't worry about it.
and you be in another room with someone?
Okay.
Okay. So then, Paul and Bonnie, you'll be in a room with one other person, and the three of you can kind of work out how you
Yeah, we'll
want
have
to.
to do that. Yeah,
Okay.
we have a little Wi-Fi issue, so I really can't go somewhere else. So
That's
yeah,
fine.
we'll work
Okay.
it out.
Okay. So then let's see, 35. So that's 34, which is 17. Okay, let's see. Let's see what happens. Good luck. We'll see what happens. Let me look at this for a moment. Okay, so Paul and Bonnie. Okay, you'll be with Nita, Paul and Bonnie, and then everyone else is in your own breakout room. I think that. Oh, Dana's. Why is that? 17. Okay, so let me do one thing here, which is just a sec.
Carolyn, if you have a question, you probably should just speak up. I don't know he's going to notice your hand.
Peter,
Mm-hmm.
do you
Yeah.
have a specific topic or is just
Yeah.
general
Yes.
aging?
No, I'll coach you once you're in the room about what to share with your partner.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So then it works out, Hadia, that you'll end up in a room and then just come on back and we'll share with each other. Okay. Alrighty, so let's see what happens. We're gonna send you into the room. And one of the best things to do is have the attitude as you arrive in the room, here's my perfect partner, whatever that means to you, okay? Okay, so here we go, sending you into the rooms, and then I'll be able to speak to you from the rooms when you're in the rooms.
Samuel, how you doing?
How's Santa Cruz?
You know, it's a real different life than Santa Monica. But I'm enjoying it. And I still come south every so often. I'm coming down in a couple of weeks, you know, do a Hollywood Bowl concert and you know. But
Do you know Foster Gamble?
no.
He's one of my teachers, and he lives up there.
Really? No, I do like
he did the movie Thrive.
Okay.
And Thrive 2. He's very he knows a lot about what's going on in the world.
Foster Gamble. I'm meeting a lot of people up here, and it's a real interesting community, and very open, very warm, easy to meet people, and I really like the overall general socio-political environment up here. There's not a lot of uptight people.
Nice. I spent some time there in the past.
This is new to me. I mean, you know, when he talks about the aging process, I really think what we do with our lives when we have an opportunity to be courageous and go somewhere and go do something. And so my wife and I are traveling a lot. We're walking around. I mean, this whole thing started as a lark, an adventure. I mean, you know, sold our house in Santa Monica and took a chance and just moved up here.
Nice.
Okay, it looks like he's got a note. He's not able to talk. I don't know, whatever. I have no idea what this thing is going to turn out like. So I'm just being social with you, and I really appreciate it.
Sure.
Is it warm down in LA now?
A little bit. It's nice.
It's not 90 degrees though.
No. Santa Cruz?
No, Santa Cruz right now, we live right at the ocean and out by the lighthouse. And right now it's just foggier than you wouldn't believe.
Oh, wow.
He's going to bring us back in. Okay, so there we go. So much for adventure.
Nice talking with you.
Yeah, all right, Samuel.
Whee! Technology, hyperventilating over here.
That was fun for a minute. We had a threesome.
Did you all get enlightened in there?
Yeah,
we did.
I was by myself.
Deep sharing, huh?
Peter, I was by myself. Nobody was in my room.
Yeah, we could.
Nobody was in your room?
No. Nobody was in my room.
Nope.
Well, Amy and I had just sharing about it.
Okay, so what I want to do is This is a great nightmare for me. I've never had anything like this happen before, so it's great. And what I want to do is actually in the main room, I'll speak to you about what you're going to share rather than trying to type it all out. And then I'll send you back in there. And I know there still was 2 people in a room by yourself, and I'll put you 2 together once we get you back in there. So we'll try from that perspective. And then we'll bring you back here after you've shared in the room, and I can type the timing part of the exercise to you. But normally I can just speak into all the rooms, and it just makes it very, very simple. But for some reason, this system is very limited. So, okay. So do take a breath and close your eyes, and just notice how you do with chaos. And then let yourself get really tender right now, kind of like the meditation I did a little earlier. And then without going into any kind of victim energy, so what has been challenging for you about aging? So I spoke, there's a tricky line between genuine pain of aging versus simply complaining. So in your tender heart, what's been going on for you around physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, or sexual challenges? Get really specific. How are you doing with losses of people in your life, perhaps? Or cherished parts of yourself that have either diminished or disappeared?
Did you eat your breakfast?
Excuse me? Someone said something?
I'm not host, so I cannot mute people.
Make,
So
make
you
sure
might have
everybody
to-
that you're muted. Yeah, just
Yeah.
everybody take responsibility for that, would you?
Yeah,
For your
thank
muting. Thank you.
Yeah, I've just muted everyone. Okay. So then also notice how you're doing with death, either of loved ones or parts of yourself. Or maybe there's something I haven't mentioned that's important for you to share. So just notice what goes on for you around aging, around death, that's been challenging for you. And then you'll have a second round of sharing that's on the more positive side and the more what you gain by the aging process. So this is what's been challenging for you, this first share with your partner. Okay, so take a breath and open your eyes. And before I send you into the breakout rooms, hopefully, just anybody have any questions about what you're going to share? Anything?
I think we
so-
only have 10 more minutes, so.
I would
want-
mention, I want to mention one thing. This is
Uh-huh.
being recorded. I don't know if maybe we don't want to record it depending on the personal sharing, or if you do a personal share, know that it's recorded, or we don't have to post it like we usually do. So I just want to bring that up.
Okay, in the big room, but in the small room, that is not recorded, just so you know
Okay,
that.
great.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to open all rooms. I may have to arrange 1 or 2. Michael, I think you're on your own, and we'll figure that out. Okay, so here you go. And I'll just keep watching for words up there as to the timing of the sharing. It's about 4 or 5 minutes each. Okay. Okay, good luck.
Oh, welcome back, Samuel.
Yes.
I'm not sure whether these breakout rooms really, I don't know. I don't know what his plan is or how it works. It seems like with this many people and all of those kind of things and these, I don't know. I've never used them before, so it seems odd.
Well, he's attempting to get people to get more personal and involved.
Well, yeah, and I would say that's probably, yeah. I will say, aging to me, I'm dealing with the physical aspects of it and the kind of mental unwiring. I find myself losing some of just my mental facility, coordination. Coordination is probably the operative word, tripping, if you will, like, walking along, but also tripping in my mind, where not tripping like going on a trip with psychedelics or something like that, but like stumbling.
Yeah.
Not being on point like I think I have been used to in most of my life. But then I don't know that I'm really expecting myself to be that way. So I'm more absent-minded.
Mm.
Just not as coordinated as I used to be.
Yeah, I've had some physical challenges. Right now I'm dealing with, I had to have all my upper teeth removed.
Oh boy.
And I have a temporary denture that cracked while I was in Mount Shasta a few days ago. So it's being repaired. And then to get permanent proper stuff, it's supposed to be $46,000.
Wow.
So
And is that covered by some kind of dental insurance?
only a fraction, like 3,000 maybe.
That's a hit, man.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
It's a hit to my vanity too. And trying to eat without my upper teeth.
And it's upper teeth in the front.
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah. There was a lot of infection. So they pulled all there was 8 teeth that they pulled.
Does that must affect the things that you can eat?
Yeah, well, I could eat pretty much with the denture, but I ate some granola and it cracked the denture.
Well, if you eat something hard and you don't have that in there, does it hurt?
I can't.
You can't.
Yeah.
So you're doing a lot of fish?
I did fish and soft things.
Pastas and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. You can navigate.
Oh yeah. When I was in the service, they pulled a whole side of my lower mouth, and for years I didn't have anything in there. And you're right. I mean, vanity. I'm totally there with, yeah. And I think we wear that. I think we create it. We create vanity. Nobody creates it for us.
Yeah. Fortunately, as you get older, you're less worried about what other people think.
Yes. Which isn't arrogant. It's more humility. It's more the fact that, a thing that I used to give value to, I don't give value to anymore.
Yeah. Most people are so concerned with their own stuff that really don't care that much about others.
And when we think that other people care, I think it's a real projection that we lay upon them, and they don't care. People,
yeah.
Yeah. Please begin. Not a response to number 1. What's up for you? Oh, that's what we're doing. But I appreciate you saying that, because a lot of times when you find somebody else dealing with something that when he was talking, I was thinking about ability and all of this stuff and pain. I don't so much have the pain as just the lack of ability. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I can't do what I used to do. I still go out and do it, but I don't. I'm a runner and I'm slower.
I was a runner in high school and college.
Well, I just, I still run.
Wow.
And, I went out Sunday and I did a 10K.
Nice.
And I looked at the last 3 years that I've run the same race. The times are getting slower and slower. I don't have any issues now about walking. If I get somewhere in the middle and there's a hill, I just walk up it,
Uh-huh.
Whereas before I would have this driving need to kind of say I ran the whole thing.
Right.
And that goes through the whole life. I mean, if I do something in the kitchen where I'm cooking or something and I burn myself, well, I burn myself. You can bump your arm against a pan because you didn't have the coordination of the body moving across, the stovetop.
Yeah.
And that's, again, it goes back to coordination. And I find myself just like coming unwired. And I don't know.
I was starting to lose my balance a lot. And then I started seeing a nerve doctor. And I go once a week and I get infused with blood platelets.
Really?
And that reduces the inflammation. And it's actually my balance has improved. And the neuropathy is less.
What is that? What's that problem? What do they do? They inject you with something?
Yeah, they put it into your vein. A whole bag of blood platelets from other people.
Huh.
It quells the inflammation.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Balance it's what took me off a basketball court about, I don't know, maybe 6 years ago. I was playing basketball. I used to play basketball all the time.
Yeah.
And I started noticing I was falling on the court for no reason. I'd be running down the court. Next thing I know, I'm on the ground.
Yeah.
Tripping or something. And it's not a huge problem on a basketball court, but when you run on the streets, I mean, you go catch your toe or do something, I mean, you get all skinned up outside.
Do you have neuropathy?
I don't exactly know what that is, but
well, numbness in your feet, legs.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. And I have some edema with my lower legs. And I don't exactly know what to do about it. When I go and get a physical thing, they look at it and they make comments about it, and okay, now we're supposed to go back. But yeah, hey, thank you for, we're part of the same club.
Yeah.
All right, so what do we do? Are they gonna send us?
I guess they'll bring us back automatically.
Yeah, I guess they do.
Nice talking to you.
All right, Samuel. How old are you, Samuel?
73.
Yeah, see, I'm 78.
Wow.
Yeah.
You look good.
I'm hanging in there with what I got.
There you go.
So we leave the break.
Well, welcome back to this room. And the main thing I have is an apology for whatever all of the stuff is that didn't have this work so well, and we don't have time to now share as a group. And so from my perspective, it's been kind of a disaster, but I hope you got something out of it. My heart's with you. Just know that.
Well,
I would love to have you come back again, Peter. I thought that this was very meaningful to me. I especially appreciated your honesty. You created such a safe space here for me.
You're very, very welcome. Yeah.
I would
And
like to say, my partner was Julianne, and we've never actually met in person. And even though we didn't know what you had going on, I was thrilled to get to spend time with her. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and I would also say that from my point of view, it was perfect. It wasn't imperfect, you know, and that's part of what Samuel and I were dealing with these kind of misconceived notions of perfection, of what our expectations are. And that you went through a moment of imperfection. It's imperfection is just the way the world is normally. I mean, there is no perfection. What's a perfect tree? What's a perfect bird? What's a perfect animal? You know? So thank you for providing that as a context.
Very well. I actually really like chaos. My heart was flying open in all this chaos.
You see, we get together, we can talk about anything. You just threw the door open.
And it's nice to know somebody uses the same swear words you do when talking about really important stuff. Thank you, Lori.
I see Ruth's hand up. Ruth, did you want to say something?
Yes,
Yeah.
I want to thank you for this topic, and what you shared about being a Lyft driver was so beautiful, and also the fact that I may have a cracked rib, and the pain of it, and accepting it in a different way than I used to when I was younger. And this is a really important topic. And I started writing a musical about aging. And that's my way of coping, is to write funny songs about it, so that when I sing the songs to my friends, we just roar with laughter, because we're all experiencing some form of that, So thank you so much for this beautiful time with you.
You're very welcome. Our joke is, when we got together years ago, we used to talk about sex, and now we talk about what body parts aren't working.
Right. They call that the organ recital.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Ruth. That's great.
Writing that down, Ruth. Oh my gosh. No, that's an image I can't get out of my mind either.
Well, I'll turn this over. I'm a little
Patricia
overtime.
had a comment.
Patricia.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, very short. My father died when he was 58, and my mother when she was 57.
Wow.
So I find aging a privilege.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the meditation that we started with today, Sarah. That was so beautiful. And in my class, each week we focus on a different sense: touching one week, and seeing another week, hearing another week. And you summed it all up so beautifully with how you led that opening meditation to celebrate the human body, and all the different parts and different privileges we have in the body. So thanks for that. That was perfect.
Thank you. My pleasure.
I think we have time for one more comment before we go to business. Does someone else want to share? Yes,
Yeah,
Amy.
Amy.
I just thought your openness to state what truly is happening is really brave, courageous, and timely and needed. And life really keeps the second half of life a mystery until you're in it, and then you go, well, it's just me, it can't be everybody else, but it is probably all of us. It's a universal thing. So thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
I'll be in touch with you by email. I'd love to reschedule you.
Okay.
Did you write a book of any kind about this?
I've written a couple of books. Probably the most famous one is called Living Life in Love. And,
I'm happy to send out any information, including your books.
Yeah, she'll send out your information, the stuff you've done.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, if you send it to me, I'll send it out to the group.
Okay. I'll send it to you then.
Peter, thank you so much. I think obviously you can see that there's been a lot of response and a lot of interest and appreciation to you for having raised this topic that you're right, we don't talk about enough, really. And we can really, you know, and sometimes then you end up feeling really alone in all of this. And so this sharing is so rich. Hadi, do you have a quick something and then we'll go on to business?
Peter actually does a workshop on aging and spirituality, and I took it and I was very moved and inspired, and that's why I asked him to come share with us. So he has a workshop coming up. I'm not sure when, and Mary Grace will send out the information. So if you want to do deeper work on this, I would invite you to join his workshop coming up in September, you said, Peter?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's a Wednesday evening sometime in September, I think, late September.
I'm happy to send that information out too by email.
It's very healing and enriching, and it's just nice to hang out with like mind, like heart people, and with Peter, he's so loving. So I invite you to keep that on your calendars, his workshop coming up. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you for extending the invitation to Peter.